He did the monster mash.
The monster mash.
It was a graveyard smash.
He did the mash.
There's a graveyard party happening on Ikoria, and we are all invited. Bring your forests, bring your swamps, bring your plains, and we will all go down to the monster mash at the graveyard party. The video starts right now. Special thanks to our Patreon supporters who power our channel. Check out our Patreon for monthly giveaways, exclusive content, and even a starring role in our fan fight series. Link in the description below. Hello and welcome to the day. Thank you for spending your time with us. Welcome back to another episode of Jake and Joel Are Magic. I am Joel. We're going to talk about the new graveyard cards that have been spoiled for Ikoria and what it means for Standard. But first, if you wouldn't mind, if you like the video by the end of it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. It really helps us out.
It was a graveyard smash.
He did the mash.
Let's jump over into the cards. We have had a slew of graveyard-oriented cards, mostly built around Abzan. I know it's not called Abzan on Ikoria, but that's how it's forever going to be in my heart. Let's start with Nethroi, Apex of Death. We've got a 5/5 Death-Touching Lifelinker for 5, Abzan +2, that says whenever this creature mutates, which is 7 to pull off, return any number of target creature cards with total power 10 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. So I look at this as a solid creature in an Abzan deck. And most of the time I think you'll play it as just a solid creature. It's a 5/5 Death-Touching Lifelinker for 5 with upside. And that upside is, for 7, you could cast it on top of a 3/3 or any kind of mana dork from early on that's no longer necessary. That all you really want to do is trigger that mutate ability to return target creature cards with total power 10 or less from the graveyard to the battlefield. Nethroi seems like it will be cool in Standard. I think that maybe in a deck as a 1-of or a 2-of, this could have some hype if it's got some graveyard strategy to build around. Stick around to the end of the video. I've got my favorite graveyard card coming up, and you've got to check it out. Let's look at this Nethroi alternate art. Man, I gotta tell you, so far from what we've seen in Ikoria, the alternate art versions of these are spectacular. This is so sick. I am so happy that this art exists, because it couldn't exist within the actual canon of Magic. Obviously, looking at this doesn't look like a Magic card or in the Magic, high fantasy art style or however you want to describe it. But this art is so cool. It looks like pulp comics, kind of an old comic book version of Nethroi, Apex of Death. And then also we've got the Godzilla variants as well that are floating around. Nethroi got one of those. Violent Plant Beast form. Again, same exact card, but we've got the Godzilla form ready to fight. Let's jump over into another card. This is an uncommon now. We have had graveyard recursion effects for 1 black and 4 other before, but this one adds a green, goes instant speed, and says when you do return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield, it fights up to 1 target creature you don't control. At the very least, this is a limited house. And I also think that with all the graveyard recursion that people have been trying to build lately, that this card may find a home in Standard. Look at this mana dork. It's a 2-drop mana dork, which, if all the recent sets are any indication, is going to be the cost for a mana dork going forward. Okay, this mana dork has Golgari colors, taps for Golgari colors, has 3/1, so it is easier to kill, but it does beat for a little harder if you need it to. Plus, it's got the added bonus of being able to tap to put 2 cards from your library straight into your graveyard, helping you trigger some of these other things, helping you cast Mutate a Nethroi onto Skull Prophet and return a bunch of cards from your graveyard to the battlefield all at once. Fiend Artisan. I think this is maybe the most powerful card that has been spoiled so far, very closely followed by a legendary that we're going to get into at the end of the video. Fiend Artisan has hybrid mana, Golgari, gets +1/+1 for each creature card in your graveyard. The synergy is there. Plus X and hybrid black-green, tap it, sack a creature, search your library. You get a pod effect on this creature, on this nightmare. 2 cost for a good creature with an excellent passive and an excellent activated ability. At Mythic, that most of the time makes it into Standard constructed play. Here's an enchantment that's got Abzan colors across the top. Whenever a non-token creature you control dies, put 2 cards from your library into your graveyard, then return a creature card with lesser converted mana cost than the creature that died from the graveyard to the battlefield. That seems pretty sick, especially in Commander. Pay 1, sack Death's Oasis, and you can gain life equal to the greatest converted mana cost among creatures you control. That's fine, but it's more of that, let's continuously keep the battlefield full of stuff, even if it's lesser converted, just by having this passive effect on this enchantment. The synergy of graveyard effects is there, and here is Chevill. This is the card that I've been talking about the entire time. This is probably one of my favorite cards that has been spoiled in Ikoria so far. Chevill, Bane of Monsters. If there's anybody that is sending out invites to the Graveyard Party Monster Mash, it is Mr. Chevill, Bane of Monsters.
It was a graveyard smash.
We've got Gruul colors, for a death touching 1/3 that says at the beginning of your upkeep, if your opponents control no permanents with bounty counters on them, put a bounty counter on a creature or planeswalker an opponent controls. Whenever a permanent an opponent controls with a bounty counter on it dies, you gain 3 life and draw a card. This is the kind of creature, if you don't answer it, being the deck across the table from it, it is going to get out of hand very quickly. In these colors, there's going to be removal, there's going to be fight, there's going to be destroy. We're going to be able to put a bounty counter on something, kill it with a card, gain 3 life, and replace the removal that we just used to kill the thing across the board, whether it's a planeswalker or a creature. I think we get added bonus from Chevill, being that a bounty counter can be placed on a creature or a planeswalker. I think this card is a house. This card has got me so excited to build graveyard killing death strategies. It's converted mana cost too, so it gets brought back very simply with some of the recursion cards that we're seeing in this set. And as a creature itself, it's not that bad. A 2-drop, 1/3 Death Toucher, that's pretty solid. Everything else is just pushed. It's an excellent commander, I think. I'm so excited to brew with this card. Chevill has got me pumped for Ikoria. Let me know if the necromancer within you has been awakened by all of the graveyard cards we've seen spoiled for Ikoria so far. We are loving this set. We have a ton more videos coming out for Ikoria Spoilers. Make sure you hit that like button and that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on all of the information and our reactions to it. We'll catch you later.
He did the monster mash.